Magic. So small m, Aigic, or Magick, capital M, K on the end.
Okay. So lowercase magic.
Yep.
I think abracadabra, hocus pocus.
Indeed.
Magic or
Magic.
Magic with a capital M.
Yeah.
Magic.
Capital Mum. Yep.
Yeah. Magic or magic.
Magic or magic.
Right then, Angie. Ready for your countdown?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Boom. Hello, everybody. So, in case you didn't know, I'm Angie, and tonight, whether you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, or Holistic Radio, wherever you're listening to this, tonight I'm going to be drawing the line between magic and magic. Okay, did you get what I did there? Magic or magic? Yeah, one has a lot more weight than the other one. So what the frell am I talking about? Okay, so there are two types of magic in my book anyway. And I'll talk a little bit later on how I arrived at this idea. Yeah. So magic with a small m ending with a C, I would say is the illusionary kind of stage show, sleight of hand, Paul Daniels type magic. I had to do that, sorry. We were out earlier with some friends and yeah, Paul Daniels' name came up. I'm like, yeah, Paul Daniels. He was a bit weird. So you've got that kind of idea of magic. But that kind of magic is used, and again, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Or we have magic with a capital M for me, ending with a K, which is, it's like the polar opposite. Yeah. So magic with a small m ending with a C. You have to excuse me. I got halfway through my dinner. We were out today and we got back late and I haven't finished my dinner yet, so I didn't want to eat it on on the show, so to speak. So I've got a little bit of a hiccupy thing going on here. So magic with a small m ending with a C is the illusory, yeah, type of magic, the sleight of hand, yeah. And then magic with a capital M, big M, ending with a K, is, I would kind of define that as the true nature of things, yeah, of the universe, of nature, of you even, yeah. So let's just have a look at that, yeah. But before we do that, I want to tell you a story. So go back 20 years, yeah. I was quite reasonably entrenched in the matrix, for want of a better word, the illusory nature of things. And I was scared of a lot of things, the dark, what I couldn't see, government, rightly so. Even when they tried doing the con in 2009, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when you're in that matrix, certain things happen, and it makes you go, "What was that?" But then, you know, it passes, because things used to pass back then. They didn't really get much traction, and you kind of go back to sleep again. So that was me, essentially. Now and again, something would make me go, whoa, what was that? And sometimes I would try and talk to people about those things, and they would just stick their fingers in their ears and go, la, la, la. So I didn't have anyone around me. That's basically what I'm trying to say, that I could talk to about these things. So I just continued to go to sleep. And then there was a turning point. When was that? That was probably about 2008. So when I moved here, actually, where I live now. And I realised that, because you move somewhere new, and I don't know, it's like there's new things opening up. And I realised I had a choice. Was I going to go down the path of Buddhism? Because to me, it's one or the other, it's not both. I'm a bit of a Leo like that. Or witchcraft. And it's funny because I'd have conversations with people and they go, "And you're a witch." I'm like, "No, I'm not." So a bit like the other day, we were talking about empaths on the Dismembering Tarot. It's like, okay, so I put my hand up. Yeah, maybe I am a little empathic, but, that's not going to stop me doing anything. So that was when magic kind of started to happen, although I was in the broom cupboard for a very long time. And thankfully, I met someone, Ian, who could, help me with that shit. And we started on this path of witchcraft and occultism, and all the things that go with that. So, the fears that come up. I was scared of many things, and the word magic was one of them. Weirdly, yeah. Not magic as in magic with a small M ending with a C, because I quite liked watching those. There used to be a show that used to show you how they did these really big magic tricks, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's all illusion then, yeah. It's all sleight of hand, clever props. That's why I like the show Jonathan Creek, because that's what he does. He makes these incredible props for magicians, yeah. So that was kind of where that started. And, as you walk down this kind of path, there's a lot of information that comes barreling at you, smacking you in the face. And one of these things was the word magic. Yeah. And, me being me at that time, I didn't know that there's actually 3 different ways of spelling magic. So you got magic with a small m and ending with a C. You got magic, big M ending with a K, but you can also swap out the G for a J, which really gets people, which I think is quite funny. So yeah, this idea of the illusory nature of things, it kind of makes sense that type of magic is connected with magicians, sleight of hand tricks. Yeah. Now, we know, do we not, that this realm that we are in at the moment, which has been topsy-turvy for a long time, yeah, is not the true nature of things. Yeah, it's like the way I kind of describe it, there's an overlay, it's like a dampening field, yeah, which just keeps everything just about in that illusory state, yeah, the magic, yeah, or what people would say magic means. Yeah, does that make sense? So if you talk to, Joe Blogs on the street and you say the word magic, they're immediately going to think of Paul Daniels and the like. Yeah, magic tricks and illusions and, I mean, there are loads of magicians who have done, things with cards and walking through walls and all sorts of weird shit. Yeah. So that's the kind of place they would go to. And when you say, no, that's not really what magic is, they look at you like you're made of cheese. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting that word magic is connected with illusion, that overlay, and toxic magicians. What do I mean by toxic magicians? So, toxic magicians are people that know how to work magic. You could say they know the true nature of things. You could say that. But they don't necessarily how would I say that? I'd say they're more kind of at home with this idea of creating illusions, creating, upholding the overlay, if you like, tricking, and we see that all the time, do we not? From institutions, whether it's schools, health, government, full of toxic magicians. Yeah. Some of them know what they're doing. Not a lot, I would say, because the main puppeteers left in 2022. So what we have left are like they're not even the number twos, they're probably the number fives. Certainly not the number ones, if anyone ever watched The Prisoner, you know what I mean? They're not the people in charge. And if they're not aware that they're using magic, because everything is magic, yeah, whether it's with a small M and a C or a capital M and a K, everything is magic. But when people use it and don't realize they're using it, that's when it can be trouble, is what I would say. Trouble as in, okay, what example can I give? Okay, so I have an example. My son, when he was in the first year of infant school, so he, autistic child, a lot of problems, and would throw a paddy for seemingly no reason. And one day in his hand, he had a pair of scissors. Yeah. And when he threw a paddy, he threw those scissors. Now, luckily, no one was hurt. But can you see what I mean? So they have something in their hand, which is very powerful because they don't know how to, they really, it's almost like they know the rules, but they don't know what underlies those rules. So, these number fives, when they're doing their magic, when they're casting their overlays, if you like, I really don't think they appreciate exactly what is going on because they've always had the strings pulled. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, but anyway. So we have the magic that is the domain of toxic magicians and puppets, and I would also put victims in that bracket as well. Why do I say that? Because it's like if you are in full victimhood mode, then you're having your strings pulled. Yeah. You are subject to something, someone else. Yeah. So it's like you give up all your free will. You give up all your responsibility. Yeah. When you are in victim mode. Bear with me a second. I've just got to unplug something from my laptop because it's going wonky. There we go. You guys love technology, haven't you? So yeah, there's many things inside the bracket of Magick with a small M and a C. And I would definitely suggest that it is not the true nature of, what really is, what is really in this realm is not is not magic with a small M and a C. Yeah. Now, being a witch and cultist and, someone who is fascinated by energy, and I have to say that part of that comes from physics. I loved physics at school, and how things work, and the underlying stuff of things. I was always fascinated by that, and I suppose it's really funny because whenever I started a new job, and I'd feel a bit lost to begin with, until I found out what all the processes were around that job. Yeah. And then I could work out where what I did fitted in, and also what came before and what came after. It's a process, and I'm quite process driven. Yeah. So why was I saying that? That's magic.